As fatigue finally took me over, I cried myself to sleep. Anyways, you guys, welcome back to Cafe Rouge. It's been a few years since this playthrough. But let's finish it up. I think I was going for Antoine this time around. Welcome to Cafe Rouge. How may I help you? It was another usual day at the cafe. A week had passed since the horrible accident in the kitchen. We held a memorial for both Adeline and Errol, but since none of us knew them personally, we carried on with the cafe like normal, pushing that horrible memory in the back of our minds. The brilliant sunshine beat down on the tables with a scintillating shine as the cafe's sign swung in the lingering breeze. People came to and fro, passing by the red scarlet door much more than usual today. Of course, that was to be expected. Tonight was going to be a special night. Ever since the horrible accident, the jazz night has been postponed till further notice. It didn't take too much persuasion convincing the band to come back. Despite the reluctance, Cafe Rouge did have a great reputation with the Boston locals. The whole restaurant would be packed full every evening when we had any kind of event. After all, what place had a stage as grand as Cafe Rouge? Does this take place in I was like thinking right now, does it take place in New Orleans? I can't say it. And yet, in spite of all the recent events, I'm surprised that I still came back. One way or another, I was drawn to this place, whether by its beauty, its liveliness, or its sheer feeling of a nostalgic happiness. I couldn't describe it. I should be getting back inside soon. Carrying my tray full of empty glasses, I walked back towards the scarlet door. Whatever was going to happen was going to happen. But tonight, I was going to forget myself in the luscious music of sweet jazz. Oh no. Here, some more glasses, Aldo. I don't know, but I'm gonna take it as thank you. Heading out towards the door, Aldo suddenly grabbed my hand. Wait. I think I'll be needing some help. We lows on muffins, take a break from taking orders, and help me in the kitchen, please. Oh, he's blushing. Oh, sure then. Obrigado. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm gonna say it's a thank you. These muffins smell absolutely delish. The dining hall was crowded tonight. Standing in the dark, I stood concealed from the assembly of vampires sitting amongst the round tables. Even though I was pretty far back, I was thankful the music was loud enough to echo through the dining hall to reach my ears. To miss a night like this would be absurd. Playing hooky during your shift, kiddo? I whipped my head around, startled. Oh, Chris, geez, you scared me there. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Are you? Yes, playing hooky to watch the performance too. I'm so tired of serving beer to my regular drunks. Honestly, people don't have class these days. The small talk soon died off as we both turned our attention to the stage. We clapped our hands, applauding as the band started another number. By then, my mind was completely sucked in by the energy of the classy tune. It was really surprising when I felt that tap on my shoulder. MeliZ? He grabbed my hand suddenly, pulling me towards him. Is everyone just flirting with me? God damn! Chris, what are you... We've been co-workers for a while now, haven't we, MeliZ? I know this must be so sudden. I didn't go for you. This ain't your route. I heard he is a route though. But talking with you and working with you, I've come to like you quite a lot. What do you mean? Is there by chance you feel the same way? Will you go out with me? Don't put me here. Don't put me in this situation. My mouth gaped open in complete shock. I had no idea Chris thought of me this way. We don't even know each other. He continued to smile at me, clutching my hand so I couldn't turn away. All I could do was stand there, speechless, as the blood rushed to my head, flushing my face crimson red. I looked away, avoiding his eyes. Literally, I was speechless. What could I say to him? My eyes darted back and forth, trying to distract myself with the patterns of the red carpet. This really is so sudden. He chuckled. Well, don't you like me, MeliZ? We've been good friends, haven't we? I don't, I don't think so. I do, but my mind wandered away. Unexpectedly, Antoine's face recurred in my thoughts again and again. For some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about him, despite what happened in his office. My chest filled with a strange longing of some kind. Ah, so you like someone else, is that it? My face blushed furiously. Hesitantly, I nodded to confirm his question. Sorry, Chris. He laughed, his small chuckle reaching my ears. Who is it? I'm so very curious. Will you tell? I pursed my lips, too overwhelmed by his surprise confession and the constant images of Antoine's face swirling in my mind. Chris continued to badger me with questions after question. Oh, let me guess. It's Antoine. Looking up, I answered too quickly. No, of course not. I mean, he's just... Hey, you two. We both turned around. Damien was walking towards us with his arms crossed. He's also around from what I heard. What are you two doing? MeliZ needed some ingredients for me so she can continue working in the kitchen. I breathed a sigh of relief. Chris saved me in the last minute. Well, then don't just stand there. You both have jobs to do. Get back to work. Damien narrowed his eyes at me, shooting me a glare before he laughed. I sighed again, turning to Chris. Thanks for the save. You're quite welcome. He lets go of my hands. I should be going back to the kitchen, I mean. Quickly, before he asked any more questions, I darted off. I was just too embarrassed. You know what held me back from continuing this game? Fucking the saves were gone. I had to replay it. That's why like it says the recent plays were like this year. The glaring sun greeted me. I could barely feel my fingers stretching my arms in the usual morning ritual. Something was off. Yes, the air felt weird, humid, yet dry. Did I have a fever? My hand reached up to my forehead, waiting with bated breath. No, my temperature feels normal. But if you have a temperature, I don't think you can feel yourself because, like, your forehead would be hot, your hands would be hot. Like, I don't work. Weird. Whatever, I should head to school. The weather felt so dry today, usually so. Also, this game, okay, so this game has a history with me because I think this was one of my first Otome games when it was in DeviantArt, back when I was like a teenager or even younger. I think maybe this game was out when I was in middle school or like middle school to high school. Maybe middle school. This feels like a middle school thing. So for me, growing up, it didn't even cross my mind that she was still like a student and all these grown men were going after her. So like now that I'm older and I'm playing this, I'm just like, this is so weird. Ignoring the uncomfortable atmosphere, I watch my classmates coming to and fro into the classroom. Like it's chill if it's like, I think it's chill if it's someone her age. And I even would extend it only for like the soulmate thing. That guy who like she's a reincarnation. Like I would kind of see where it could extend like that. But there's like a route where it's like your fucking teacher, man. Everyone stand for the pledge. With as much leverage as I can, I rose from my seat. Reciting the same words I repeated every morning, my gaze wandered down to my desk, not caring to look at the flag. Ow! I turned to stone. Automatically, my eyes darted to the source. A classmate stood in the far corner with a small paper cut on her index finger. The drop was tiny, dripping millimeter by millimeter. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is it down her skin? I wanted to puke. Miss Black? Hey MeliZ, are you okay? Eyes rolling up, my body gave in. The black flooded into my vision, and the light went out in my... Okay, can I say something? Hear me out. If it was like a sliver of blood, like a millimeter of blood, it's like tiny bit, What does she do when people have periods? Like, is she just in a classroom full of men? Like, what about other girls? The other girls have periods? She has a period? How does that? I don't know. Maybe it was, like, mentioned. The light of the nurse's office blinded me. Blinking several times, I lifted off the bed covers. I just think it's kind of funny. Like, someone has their period and she passes out. And then the teacher's like, okay, who is it? Who's the one on their period? That's so embarrassing. Because it's shit the teacher should have known. But still. Be like, you go into nurse's office. Oh, she passed out. Why was it? Paper clip. Someone, like, you know, cut them. So, nah, someone has their period. Damn it. Blinking several times, I lifted off the bed covers. The nurse was right next to me, checking for my glucose level with one of the diabetic thingies. It's called, like, those blood sugar testers. Yeah, because my partner's diabetic, so he has a Dexcom and an Omnipod. So, like, get that shit right, girlie. Maybe she's just anemic. Well, I mean, she is. But, like, what if she's, like, I don't know. Oh, gosh. It was so much worse today. I feel so sick. Okay, but why were they... Okay, maybe I don't know this. Why were they checking their glucose? Like, why would someone need to... Why would they check her? I need to... Hold on. I'm going to Discord my husband. He's at work right now. But I'm going to Discord him because I don't... Let me see if he answers. Quick question. I'm asking him real quick. Let's see if he responds. Like, he's at work. There's like a 50-50 chance he'll respond. If someone passes out, would a nurse check the patient's glucose level with a blood strip for diabetes? He's typing. I could Google this. But, like, if I have a diabetic, like, if I'm married to a diabetic, I feel like this is, like, boom. I can ask. I think so, yes. Oh, shit. Oh, why, though? They aren't diabetic. They just pass out with the smell of blood. So I said, quick question. If someone passes out, would a nurse check the patient's glucose level with a blood strip for diabetes? He says, I think so. Why? And I said, why? Though they aren't diabetic. They just pass out with the smell of blood, just in case some odd hypoglycemic episode took place. Okay, hypoglycemic. What is hypoglycemic? What is hypoglycemic? We're learning shit today. You guys are gonna learn shit today with me. He's typing. Low blood sugar. Oh, because of the passing out? Oh. Okay. He's still typing. I'm trying to see why he's typing. I said, oh, okay. It also checks for high blood sugar because that can cause comas. Oh, look at that. So it's like a safety check. So the school nurse or school isn't held liable if they get more sick or coma. So it's a reasonable thing to do to diagnose in case that ends up attributing to the passing out. And he said, yes. Okay, so because both can be deadly. Oh, okay. If not treated, good to know. It's a liability thing. Liability thing. He's asking why, my love. I'm playing an otome game where the pro tag passes out all the time because of the scent of blood. They said they checked her glucose with quote-unquote diabetic thingies. I think we learned something today. He's still typing. Yeah, so that means we'll let me see, my sister also texted me. Why is everyone texting me? He says, yeah, so that means when whoever made it has knowledge enough to know it's a safety measure. Precautions are in place for reliability and human safety. Look at you, whoever developed this game. Look at you doing doing research. That's nice, dear. Let's have you eat your medication now. With her nimble fingers, she dropped 2 small pills in my palm. Leaving me with a cup of water in one hand, she left to care for the others. The horrible headache still lingered in my mind. Might as well eat all the medicine now. My head felt a little dizzy. That looks like a whole ass high school. Anyway, it's time to head to another day of work. She's in high school, right? That's still so weird. The teacher's like, you know what? I'm attracted to you. I don't give a shit if he says no. No. Strange that everybody was in the dining hall. Aldo, Chris, Deanne, Candace, and Damien. They weren't even moving, just standing around waiting. Diane, what's going? The sound of echoing footsteps reached my ears. To my dismay, the one person who I'd been avoiding the past few days was walking into the hall. With nowhere to hide, I stepped back behind Diane. Her tall height would have to do for now. Good afternoon, everyone. His tone of voice sounded incredibly weak. Though I was determined not to look at him, curiosity won me over. And I couldn't believe what I saw. Antoine looked sickly pale. Sorry. I didn't expect it to be like that. Oh, sweetheart. And his body moved with a strange languid frailty. He struggled even more, his legs stride by stride across the red carpet flooring. Now, I don't have too big of an announcement. He staggered, almost falling. Damien caught him just in time, but Antoine pushed him away. Don't touch me. Fuck! Don't be mean. That's so rude. That's not nice. That was so mean. What an asshole. With the little strength he had, he lifted himself in the upright position. Don't be rude. Anton swayed back and forth before he finally found his balance. I don't have too big an announcement. As you can see, I am in no condition to be working. For the next few days, while I'm on sick leave, Damien will be in charge. I thought he was already in charge. Antoine staggered again. What do we do? Because he's being such an asshole. Follow him later. Ask him if he's okay. I don't know, man. Well, we're trying to romance this bitch. Follow him later. Damien will be in charge while I'm gone. I'll come back soon. Hopefully. Antoine staggered, striding in broken strides at the hall. What a fucking asshole. Huh. I followed him outside the scarlet doors. Antoine didn't make it far before he fell down. Getting up, he leaned himself against a white round table. Damn. I thought you'd been avoiding me. Did he have a whole ass episode because I was like having personal space? I jumped. He saw me? Are you okay? Not answering, Antoine staggered a step forward. I hate this guy. I was so determined not to do anything, but watching him like this was tearing me apart of annoyance. Just before he fell on his next step, I caught him by the arm. Please, just tell me, are you okay? I spoke in hushed whispers, fearful of Antoine's answer. Moments after, a flicker of tenderness crossed his face. He reached out towards my hair, brushing it lightly with his frail fingers. I'll be fine. You don't have to worry about me. Leaning down, Antoine smiled. He stretched his hand out towards me. I flinched and he quickly withdrew. Why is she fucking crying? I'm sorry, I just noticed that. Why are you crying, girl? I was gonna say, before I keep going, if you guys want to see the route where she ends up with her classmate of appropriate age, I do have the old playthrough of Cafe Rouge that I have on my channel from 2014. So you can always watch that one. That one, she gets with her best friend. This one, I think I was kind of selfish with, because this guy's sexy, and I was like, I want sexy, and then I forgot, oh, she's like not, no. She cannot, no, this can, I flinched and he quickly withdrew himself. Almost immediately, I regretted what I did, and the heart stung clear on his face. I could probably put myself right here, but like, hey, it's me. So it's me. It's not her. You're with me. It's okay. You know? I could probably do that. Wait, hold on. I could take your place. Girly pop. Believe. For a long moment, we were both dead silent. Then he sighed. Goodbye, Miss Black. Slipping his arm from my hold, he parted from me. His frail figure staggered across the corner, disappearing from my view. Only seconds later did I realize the tears straight shoot. Fucking. Okay. Sigh. I couldn't let my emotions control what I had done and what I have to do, my job. Not only my job though, but another thing. There was an investigation still needed to be done. Yeah, someone got murdered. I'm glad you remembered. Afternoon, Aldo. I can't. Miss MeliZ. What should we do today? Aldo paused, looking over pots and pans. He's still blushing. He seemed to be looking for something. I don't think I'll be needing help. But please tidy up the kitchen, if you please. With that said, he left through the kitchen door. Guess I have some free time to myself. Time to investigate. Inspect floor? Is that what he was looking at though? Because the body area would be more in the inspect floor. Too bad I didn't have a magnifying glass. I fucked up already. Damn it. My eyes glanced down at the tiles questionably. Nothing seemed to be off. They were all spotless. Too spotless. Huh? I made a round trip walk around the kitchen. Nope, nothing fishy. Wait a minute. Bending down, I squinted my eyes. One spot seemed wider than the others, like the size of an average foot. Footsteps. So the killer must have concealed its tracks. What does that mean? Like, is one area cleaner than the other area? Is that what she's trying to say? Yet, how come they're so white? Couldn't they just have wiped it clean with a mop? Unless the footsteps couldn't be wiped clean from the marble white tiles. It was too permanent in the ground to be wiped away. So they painted the tiles? Concluding their only option was to paint them over with white again, or some sort of concealment. Someone had time to paint over tiles? Oh, so it's not like the blood was too much or whatever. If you got like a good cleaning crew, like they get paid good enough, or like enough to like, they know what to do, man. The spots of white trailed from the dark stairway of Antoine's office back to the far corner of the room and then out of the kitchen door. I headed out the kitchen door. That was all I could find for now, and I shouldn't be alone for myself. I'm like double checking that I am recording. There's always something with these fucking recordings. Who knows what I would do if the murderer found me? Girl, you're already asking for trouble by investigating and stuff. Where should I go to? Why am I gonna visit Chris's bar? That's dumb. I'm not gonna lie, that's dumb. He literally just told us, and he's like, he's kind of sussy. Go investigate the station dining hall. The red curtains were the first thing that drew my eye. Stepping onto the stage podium, it was quite messy. I'm gonna fucking save here. Hold on. This seems too quiet. I don't trust shit. Equipment laid all over the place, and we have yet to clean it up since the night of the jazz performance. Like, seriously, wires were tangled everywhere. Ah! I tripped, falling face first onto the stage. Wires thick and thin knotted my feet and arms, making it almost impossible for me to get up. Can we untangle ourselves or call out for help? Or we're gonna get shocked if we... Okay, you know what? We could be an independent woman. But I don't think this game wants us to be an independent woman, though. I think this is like, you need to be a damsel in distress. I'll do call out for help. Help! Somebody! I struggle, my arms failing them. It did also say that it was... What did it say? That it was wires thick and thin, knotted my feet and arms, and make it almost impossible. Yeah, so it's basically saying, like, bitch, you gotta call for help. I struggled, my arms failing them usefully. Then, an arm reached out, lifting me from the ground. It's Chris. Thank you. The voice caught in my throat. Immediately, I shook his arm off, pushing him away. It was him. What do you want? I'm trying to help. Yeah, why is she being a... Oh, this is... I hate this. We narrowed our eyes, staring at each other. Falling back into the entanglement of wires again, I turned away, refusing to look at him. He was just trying to help, you know? Like, just because you guys are dicks to each other doesn't mean he wasn't trying to help, man. Pulling away from his stubborn pride, Damien bent down again to lift me. This time, I didn't struggle. Thank you. You're welcome. We avoided eye contact for a moment. He's your boss. Like, you have to remember, like, these people, like... In a normal environment, and you are this is your first job, the people that you're working with are, especially the managers or like the supervisors, are supposed to, I say this very liberally, are supposed to help you. A lot of jobs, like I've been several things. So I've been a waitress, I've been a barista, I've been an HR. In a lot of them, if it's, especially since like it's your first time working, they're supposed to be there to support you regardless of other feelings. Obviously there's the inappropriateness of like some people who are kind of creeps, and that's like not, that shouldn't be normalized behavior from the person that's supposed to be like in charge of you. But take it as like the supervisors watching out for your well. Like, you call for help. It's not like they're gonna leave you there. And yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like working in HR, it was always like complicated to kind of put out like the thought of like, hey, we're here to help you. Like, we're here to be like your advocate. So like, regardless of certain feelings with certain people, we're still going to advocate for you, especially if you're asking for help. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to like him, but he is, you know, genuinely trying to, like, help you here. You don't need to be upset. Regardless if he was a guy or it was a girl supervisor or manager, they're trying to help in that instance. We avoided eye contact for a moment. I'm cleaning up the stage now, so I suggest you go. Fine. By the way, is this yours? His hand held out a can of hairspray. I shook my head. I never use hairspray. No, it's not mine. Besides, look at the bottom. It says property of CD. Damien takes a closer look at the can. Oh, you're right. I didn't even know. Suddenly a loud commotion sounded in the middle of the dining hall. It was far from us to see what was happening. Damien and I exchanged curious glances. What was going on? And then we're gonna rush. The place was all of a ruckus. Something small darted under the table, too fast for me to see. Aldo, as well as everyone, was everywhere, either dodging the small thing or chasing it. What is it, an animal? It's okay, don't run now. Suddenly it dashed out right between my legs. I yelped and tripped, falling to the ground with a thud. At first, I thought it was a rat, but it was way too big for one and too small for a cat. It's a dog? Ah, Meli, help us catch the little thing. What? I screamed and touched something touching my behind. Immediately, I scrambled up and jumped onto a table. Ah! Don't run so much, Aldo. You'll only encourage it. Scusa. Freaked out of my mind, I panicked again when the thing raced down right around us. Aldo followed and dove beneath. Oink! Oh, it's a pig! Oink, oink, eh? He wrapped the creature in a big bundle of cloth. It was too concealed for all of us to see. What is that thing? Did it just snort? Oh my goodness, you have a pig. Oh, that's my favorite character in the game. Fuck everybody else. I will die for him. I will kill everybody for him. You know what? This is all I need. And a little blanket. He lifted a tiny cover, revealing the pink thing. Its eyes were barely open now, tired from the chase. Diane and I swarmed around Aldo, trying to take a closer look at the teacup pig. Such an adorable... Oh, look at it! The eyes are even more irresistible than puppy dog eyes. Where did you even get this? Damien interrupted, grabbing Aldo's shoulder. Aldo, didn't Antoine talk to you yesterday? You can't bring animals into the cafe. This is the third time you sneaked in your pig in. I am very sorry. The chef lowered his head in shame. Still, I wasn't going to let my curiosity go unanswered. But Aldo, where in the world did you get this little guy anyway? Oh, I was visiting the farmer's market all over town last week. I was only looking for some veggies, but then I saw a pen full of small piglets, teacup piglets. They were too small to be given to pork manufacturers, especially this one, and if I didn't buy it, the farmer would have put him down. Laughing a little humorously, Aldo leaned down to tickle his pet. He smiled, watching the piglets squirm in delight. Then I realized something. Was the teacup pig why you were gone from the cafe for so long? Aldo nodded. My landlady doesn't allow animals, so I brought him here temporarily. But he's not allowed here too, so I don't know what to do. So that means Aldo's completely ruled out as a suspect then. See, this is what you get for assuming shit though. What's its name? I actually haven't named it yet. We'll name it later. Come on everybody, back to work. Your pig's caused enough trouble as it is. We have to set it up, all the tables again, and 9 hours start in less than 2 hours. Clapping his hands, we all shut our mouths, scrambling ourselves to get back to work. Aldo bowed again in apology as Damien gave a private scolding in the kitchen. We were absolutely smitten with the little thing, but it looks like we'll never see it again. At least investigation ended on a good note today. Aww. My shift was over. The bright glow of the street light didn't reach me. I was in no mood to go home either. Home. What home? My parents didn't even want me. I had no home to go back to. The only thing that waited for me was a desperate loneliness sitting in the Pandora's box waiting to be inevitably opened. A sudden pain stabbed my chest. I couldn't understand why Antoine's face showed in the back of my mind. His last words haunted my thoughts, and I had an awful feeling that he meant his goodbye. It's cold tonight. I jumped. Damien stepped out into the open, leaving the door ajar. What do you want? To talk. I think it's time you know something. My eyes narrowed at him. He only gave back a smile. He looked pretty sincere. Okay. There you go. We walked up the dark stairway and into Antoine's office. Why are we here? You'll see. Damien walked along the further back behind the bookshelves looking for something. Now it should be around here somewhere. His hand traced along the line of wood. I hadn't noticed before, but there was a pattern barely seen in the decorum. Ah, I found it. Damien pressed his two hands against the wall, and suddenly a small square outline appeared along the wooden surface. Behind, there was a small handle. Slipping his fingers underneath the tile helve, he pulled. The portion of the wall opened like a door, more like a safety deposit box, actually, and I raised my eyebrows at what I saw. It is us! Reincarnation, man. MeliZ, meet Lizzie. Who is she? I stared wide-eyed at the girl in the picture. She was the spitting image of me. With long black, I should have saved it back then. Fuck! It does. Fuck! Except for one small difference, her eye color. Who is she? Damien looked down and scratched his head. Lizzie was my cousin, a first-generation American like the rest of us, immigrants from the 19th century. My eyes absorbed the details of the picture. Reaching out, my fingers brushed softly against the ornate frame. Come on, let's head to the dining hall. Why, though? My nose is getting stuffy. He led me to a chair. The dining room was completely empty, and everyone was gone for tonight. Plans had changed apparently, and Damien closed shop early, dismissing everyone from the cafe. What a waste from all the setting up from Aldo's pet incident. What a waste from all the setting up after Aldo's pet incident. Here's some tea. Doesn't have too much caffeine, but it should keep you awake for a while. I repeated myself because my mom sent me a text message and it's like, fuck! I reached out to my cup, lifting it to my lips, taking a sip. It was warm and sweet. There was a small trace of sourness, like raspberries. How much do you know about the Old South? Well, as a history major back in freaking school, it was fucked, dude. Come on. Huh? Aren't people down south really racist? Yes. He coughed, spitting out his tea in my face. It was like a whole slavery thing, my dude. Why are you asking these questions? We stayed wide-eyed at each other in surprise. When he started laughing, I blinked, wiping off the tea and spit off my face, glaring. This was not funny. Although I would say you watch too much... What the fuck? Too much liberal media? That's some bullshit. Are you... Oh, I don't like this guy. What the fuck? What do you mean? What the fuck? Are we talking about, like... That's crazy talk right there. That's crazy. We're talking about Old South. Like, there's there's racism everywhere, but like... That's crazy talk. Slightly true. My man. Oh man, this guy. Let's give him a history book, man. I grew up with Anthony and Lizzie, all three of us, the old gang. I eyed his face carefully. There was a nostalgic smile on his face that soon turned into a grim frown. Damien met my eyes, returning to his usual cold tone. I'm warning you now, this story doesn't have a happy ending, okay? So unless you really don't want to hear it, tell me now so I can shut my mouth. He gave me a humorless look. Immediately, the gravity of his words sank in. I looked down, contemplating. Then I nodded. Please. I'm gonna have to save it the next one, because how can I have for fucking... David sighed one last time, slipping down into his seat. Now, the day we first met, it was something really priceless. That's crazy. What the fuck? This was not in the original game. What in the world? Back then the country was split between yeah it was. You know why? It was years before the Civil War of 1865 and the Old South was rich with. You wonder why? Because Hamilton talks about this in the musical. It literally, Hamilton tells freaking Thomas Jefferson, like, you guys don't pay for labor. Like, you're a slaver. You don't pay for labor. Don't talk about taxes when you don't even... Oh my god. Meanwhile, I was on my way visiting my neighbor and best friend. Sigh. I was a typical boy of 14, mischievous, tomfoolery, and naive. By the time I arrived, Anthony had already climbed up to the other side of the fence, waiting with a long wheat stick in his mouth. What took you so long? Are they gonna show them? Sorry, I had to babysit. Babysit? Aren't you a little young to be babysitting? Size, you don't have any younger siblings. No, I peeked behind my back, and the small figure was walking towards us. Anxiously, I jumped over the fence to Anthony's side. Anthony? What now? I brought along my cousin. He blinked, frozen. Then he got angry. You stupid idiot, why the hell did you bring your cousin along to our secret hideout? I'm sorry, Ma forced me to. My cousin just arrived a few days ago, so Ma wanted me to help teach English. Your cousin can't even speak English? Well, where in the hell is he from? Germany? I am fucking... I'm so speechless. I have nothing to say. France. Well, that's not too bad. Maybe he can learn a thing or two from us. How old is he? This is kind of racist. What the fuck? 12. Just about 4 years younger than you, but what now? I paused, stealing a peek at my behind. The little figure was only a few feet from us now. My cousin's a girl. Oh my god. No wonder they were like, oh my god. No wonder, like, nah. Liberal media. I'm sorry. I'm just so, like... I had to change the mood because I'm annoyed. This was not in the old game. I am so 100%. This was not in the old game. It was nothing like this. I'm so speechless. No wonder they were like, liberal media. It's because they were ignoring... They were ignoring the fucking shit, the atrocities that were happening. You literally... Oh my god. Oh my god, this game. Revealing herself in her doll-like eternity. She wore a botch. Her eyes are green. With fancy girlish ribbons, while the rest of her tiny body was cloaked in a frilly dress. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm so frustrated, I'm gonna sneeze. A girl? You brought a girl, Danny? Anthony made a grab for my collar. I choked, barely breathing. Why did you bring a girl? This is our hideout. I really wouldn't have cared if your cousin was 4 years younger than us, or that your cousin couldn't speak a word of damn English. But a girl? I gotta sneeze again. I'm so frustrated. It makes it worse that because technically they're white skinned. It makes it worse because how do you explain it? Like, how can I dumb it down?
It's like, it says they're white, like they're lighter skin, and the atrocities were happening to darker skinned people. It's like, say, it's like if the white skin person is like, that didn't happen to me, but and then the dark skinned person is like, well, it happened to me because of my skin color. But the white person is like, well, because I didn't experience it, it didn't happen. It's the same shit. It's like, you can't say a time was better when all of these atrocities were happening to people in general. The fuck? Just because you didn't experience it, you think it's all happy-go-lucky? Are you just stupid or what? I'm sorry, Anthony. I could have just left her in the streets or something. My mom and aunt would have killed me. Well, I'm gonna kill you now. He raised his arms, ready to throw a punch at my face when the girl grasped from behind. See, in the original game, they didn't have all this cotton, like, in the background. It was nothing like that. I think adding this actually reminds me that it's not even a reminder, but it kind of shows you, like, especially how he would say, like, I don't know how to explain this, but pushing this, like, oh, you watch too much or you take in too much liberal media. Just because you were blind to the atrocities, were subconsciously or consciously blind to them, doesn't mean they didn't happen. And when people have other opinions on it, you can't just be like, nah, fam, that didn't happen because I didn't experience it. What the fuck? Atrocity happen all the time. And then people get mad because, like, one side could say, well, I didn't experience this atrocity, like the group B. And group B is like, no, it happened. And then when something happens to Group A, they're like, oh, the atrocities that are happening to us, they wouldn't like it if Group B was like, oh, I didn't experience those atrocities, so it's not real. Oh my god. It stopped Anthony for a moment, and his attention turned from me to her. What's her name then? Eliza or something, I'm not sure. He climbed over to the side of the fence, glaring down at her. Anthony reached out his hand quite rudely. Hello, Eliza, or whatever the hell your name is. Really can't speak English, can you? She tilted her head, not staring up at him, confused. She opened her mouth, trying to speak. Antoine? We both stared, a little muddled. Anthony raised a hand at my direction. Raised a brow, my hand. Is she speaking French or something? I have no idea. He signed and bent down to her level. Narrowing his eyes, Anthony poked with his finger on her forehead forcibly, pushing her back a step. That's so fucking rude. She stumbled, falling backwards. What a weird brat. But she didn't back down either. Sticking her tongue out, she shot him a glare. However, there was something weird about her. I didn't notice it at first, but she had almost never showed her red eyes, even when she was hungry. Normal vampires' eyes turned a bright red glowing color when they feasted on their prey for blood, but I've never seen her bite another human or vampire. Thinking back now, we should have seen the sign, but Anthony and I paid no mind to it. What fucking... That's crazy. I keep seeing it. It's crazy. For a while now, Anthony and I were planning on running away. I know, pretty typical of two boys, right? Over the months, we saved our equipment up, fishing poles and fish bait, a pistol, and 2 ponies. I'm so upset. This game is making me unreasonably upset. It must be nice to be able to save up over months something that others couldn't save up for their whole lives. But you know, who am I? Oh my fucking god. We planned to run away that night. Danny, why are you always late? I panted, waving my arms in the distance. I'm here. Oh. Hurry up then. I already saddled up our horses. You got the fish bait? Yeah, but what, Danny? Then we heard a rustling through the cotton field. That's crazy. Seconds later, her small figure emerged, sweating from head to toe. My cousin bent down panting, tired from chasing me all over town. Anthony stared in silence, wide-eyed. I'm sorry, Anthony. I swore I was gonna... He sucker punched me in the face. Anthony stared, wide-eyed. What are we going to do with her now? Did you plan to take her with us? I'm sorry. Spitball of fire. If we leave now, she's just gonna go on hollering to everybody we ran off. He sighed, glaring down at me, and then he turned to her. Let's take her with us and dump her at the saloon when we make it out of West. She can join the cabaret like one of those can dancers. I'm just shaking my head. We left quickly, Anthony tying up my cousin to the horse so she wouldn't run away. We saddled up our ponies and started out our journey west, which wasn't for long. Only a few hours later, my cousin started complaining. I'm gonna look up what she's saying. Hold on, this is interesting. I'm interested. Let's see what she's saying. Okay, let's see. We're gonna go to, if she's French. Okay. Oh. Allons nos. Where are we going? Will you shut up? Ugh, Danny, stuff her mouth or something. Dude, he's such an asshole. What the fuck's his problem? I don't really have any spare cloths or anything. Suddenly we heard a strange noise, but it turns out it was just her stomach. Oh, okay. And then she said, Je veux du sang? Je veux du sang. I want blood. I want blood. What's she saying now? And buttoning my sleeve, I lifted my exposed arm to her, expecting a bite. She just stared, shaking her head. Just drink. Don't you want blood? She continued to shake her head. Anthony sighed, watching us from up front. She can't go hunt for some birds or rats in those bushes over there. I undid the ropes to her arms as she jumped off, scrambling eagerly towards the woods. There was a quick snappy noise of breaking bones, and then a gush of flesh ripped open. When she came back, she was still carrying the rabbit's corpse, wiping the blood off her face. Should we tie her up again? No, I don't think she's planning on running now. Getting up on my horse, she soon dozed off as we continued through the night. Another few hours passed, and the night became really quiet. The only sound other than the hoofsteps of our ponies were the sound of the crickets chirping. It was pretty peaceful, I have to admit. So according to my map and the plants, it looks like we were in Missouri. We were still in Georgia. Should we go look for food? All we have is fish bait and grass to feed the horses. Yeah, if only we could find a stream or something. Aha! Look over there! We have arrived at a creek. Stopping our horses, we tied them to a tree, and while we set off with our fishing poles. My cousin was still fast asleep, laying on the saddle. Her hands clutched our poles for a while, and after an hour, we started to give up. Maybe the fish were asleep? Probably. The next thing that happened surprised us both. First, we saw the ankles and then skirt as she lifted her dress over her knees, hanging her legs over the edge like the two of us. What? I guess it's scandalous. Anthony's face, as well as mine, was bright red. And they have no noses. I love that for them. Back then, ankles were considered forbidden in society. No lady, unless they were trash, would ever show her legs or ankles out in public. Yeah, I don't know. I thought saving would be good. It was considered what? It was considered wanton. What the fuck does that word mean? Wanton? Deliberate or unprovoked. Violent, cruel. Sexually unrestrained. What? Do you see what I see? I don't know what you're talking about. Although I was a little apprehensive about my best friend staring at my cousin's ankles, we both continued staring until she spoke up. Stupid boys. What did she just say? She knew English. Suddenly, the line pulled, not mine or Anthony's, but hers. My cousin joined us with her own makeshift fishing pole. She screamed, tugging back as hard as she could. A split second later, she fell into the creek. God damn it. He followed through himself into the waters after her. All I could do was watch and wait in frantic panic, yelling Anthony's name. No answer. Then, in the distance, I saw a figure drag a body to shore. It was too dark to see clearly. I raced towards them. I have no idea what she's saying, but we're gonna figure out right now what she's saying. But it's made this sheep pull him out. Je la... Oh no, oh no, oh no. Je la tue. Je suis une... Tu use maman... No, maman va me prendre toutes mes pupilles c'est pas justi. Bitch, this doesn't say shit. Sheila, tue. Oh no, I killed him. I'm a killer. Mommy's gonna take all my dolls. It's not fair. Anthony's blood was laying on the creek shore, still and not breathing. Immediately I started pumping his chest. Come on, come on. At last his eyes opened. Anthony convulsed upwards, coughing out the water. My cousin cried in relief, and I punched his shoulder roughly. Don't scare us like that again. But Anthony didn't seem to be paying attention. From his trousers, he stuck his hand in, and out he pulled a long, flopping bass. We stared dumbfounded. Caught fish. All three of us burst into laughter. The rest of the crazy night, we roasted the bass fish we caught over a fire, while we spread ourselves over the grassy plain, staring up at the stars. Hey, can you understand us now? A little. Then what's your name? Elizabeth Blanche. Blanche is white. Ah, Lizzie White. Ah, Elizabeth sounded like a mouthful. How about we just call you Lizzie? The name was quite catchy, the perfect nickname for her. Looking over to my side, I could see she liked the sound of it too. It's okay. The stars twinkled from above, approving us as we deemed her new name. We spent the night sleeping under the Missouri stars, and when morning came, the journey was over. The sheriff found us along with our parents. Ah, young man, you were in big trouble. My mother grabbed me by the ear, shaking me awake from my slumber. I'm sorry, Anthony was the one who... Oh, don't try laying the blame on him. You two are both in big trouble, behaving like white trash children. And what have you done to that? That's kind of... Okay, I don't know. That's weird. She looked like she'd bedraggled her dress. Oh, my darling. Naturally, our parents were very furious with us except for Lizzie. Our little adventure was over, but we gained something very important instead. From that moment on, we knew we were all going to be best friends forever. Childhood passes quickly. We grew up into ladies and gentlemen we knew we would one day become. And as we were all children of the upper class Southern society, since our parents all owned Oh my god. We're just glazing. Oh my god. I'm... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. We saw this earlier, but it was like a museum thing. That's why I was asking, oh, maybe this is just in New Orleans or something. I am like speechless. I can't even read this. I'm so fucking speechless. What the fuck? We're glazing over this? Her ear looks really weird here. I don't think that's normal. Let's cover it. I don't know. What the fuck? Isn't it a fine day today to be having a barbecue? Oh, so they were engaged? Wait. You were dating your cousin? That's my bitch. She's like, ew, the fuck? Like, and spirit animal. Damien paused from the story and watched as my face twisted in disgust. Yes, but those were the times back then. There were lots of marriages between cousins, and even though it seemed wrong in modern day standards, oh, there were a lot of things wrong with your society back. Yes! Sorry, I'm so excited. Oh, never mind. She's great. She's great. Why? He thought the bad thing was the cousins thing? Sir. You had the hots for your cousin, your first cousin. Are you incestuous? Damien sighed, probably expecting me to go on lecturing him about how slavery and racism were bad too. 'Cause they are! You was there! You did nothing! Which I was gonna do. Sigh, you pay attention to the fuck? What the fuck? I'm saving. Can I kill this guy? Is there like I don't mean what is this game? This was not what I played before. So wait, okay, maybe no, because I went through every single other route. There was like 2 routes in the other game. Like in the old version, it was it was like 3, maybe like 3. You could either get her with her teacher, get her with her best friend, or get her with Antoine, which is the cafe owner. And like the true route is supposed to be like up to interpretation. Honestly, I think the true route was the best friend. But like I think the game is like hinting more that it's Antoine, the cafe owner, because like the cafe is such a big deal in this. But I went through the best friend route because honestly, like in this version of the game, he has pink hair, but red hair was like really nice on him, and so that's why I went with him. But oh my god, this guy has a route. Oh my god, is that why there's no POC in this fucking cafe? Oh my god. I mean, in this whole game, there's no POC, but I'm just I sighed, rolling my eyes. Now I had even more reason to hate Damien, but I should put aside my emotions and just listen. Just continue. Damien slumped back into his seat again. So anyway, so what? Like, our parents staged our relationship. Only now did I realize the double entourage for leaving Lizzie with me all the time during our childhood. Everyone, my mother, her mama, were hoping for us to fall in love, but that wasn't what would happen in the end. Arm in arm, Lizzie and I walked together while she conversed with Anthony. Her attention had always been on him, more than me, and his attention always on her.
I didn't notice it at first, but those two were falling in love for each other in front of my eyes. Papa really does these things, you know. It was actually Mamon who... I am just not about this. I don't know about this anymore. Mm-mm. 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 Nope. Nope. I'm just here for the ride at this point. I am not liking this. Oh, they've been looking for wedding gowns lately. Anthony stopped in his tracks, staring at the two of us. The devastation was clear on his face, as well as the hurt. Lizzie stopped as well, regretting those last few words. Damn. And they're cousins. Anthony. He marched off before she could say more. Truth was, I hadn't proposed to Lizzie yet, but we were being so pressured by her parents that the barbecue and ball that night at Blanche Manor was set for me to finally propose to her and for her to say yes. Being the aloof idiot I was, I didn't even notice Lizzie and Anthony had gone missing the entire day. The barbecue had passed and soon the ball began. My aunt, Miss Blanche, was the first to notice Lizzie was missing. Lizzie's mother was frantic and asked me to go looking for her. That is when I found them in the fields. So you're already looking for wedding dresses, right? Anthony, please. Oh, no, I'm quite happy. My two best friends getting engaged is a wonderful thing. He kicked a rock, letting it fly sky high across the field. Lizzie was too afraid to look at him, to mutter another word that could hurt him. She was on the verge of tears. Of course, Anthony noticed, and immediately he stopped with the mocking remarks. Holding her face in his hands, he kissed her forehead. You'll make the most beautiful blushing bride of all Georgia. I'm sure of that. Anthony, you're the one who She crumbled. The tears poured out of her eyes like a waterfall. Anthony, that's crazy. We're having a whole ass Otome game on a plantation. That's crazy talk. This was not in the... Oh my god, I don't know how... I don't know, man. I like the pig that was earlier in the game. I already made my way back to Blanche's mansion. Sitting on the front steps, I waited for her to come. Danny, I'm sorry, I had errands to do. That's a fucking lie. Come up with a better lie. Her eyes were swollen red. Lifting myself on the steps, I walked towards her. I have something important to say. Okay. The Southern Belle braced herself, forcing a grin and smile on her face. Lizzie must have expected my proposal right then and there, and she was going to accept. Neither of them wanted to hurt me. Their love for me as their best friend was an obstacle for their own happiness, and being the honorable people that they were, Anthony and Lizzie were willing to throw it away for a noble deed. I couldn't let that happen. You're ugly. Lizzie paused, looking up. She stared at me, flabbergasted and more confused than offended. Excuse me? You know as well as I do how ugly you are. You've also gained a lot of weight. I hope you know you're very annoying. You talk too much and I don't want to marry a nagger. Plus, you make a horrible wife. I mean, Miss Lizzie Daniel Sawyer, your name just gonna taint my family. She slapped her can across my face. This thing left a red imprint across my cheeks and I stopped talking. Then Lizzie kissed me on the cheek.
Thank you. What? So the parents were just gonna be chill with that? That's crazy. So they got married. They're in fucking cotton. I want to get back to our girly. It's the pendant thingy. Your initials. Ah, Blanche Black. Ah. Ah, that's where the pendant comes from. The cafe was her idea. The middle. Fuck me, dude. I'm just I don't know. I think I just. You want Abraham Lincoln to be at a freaking opera? You know what happened to him there? Cafe Rouge. He named the cafe after her. Anthony was getting hungry and he cupped her head back, his nose trailing. No! No! She doesn't have vampire teeth or some shit. What the fuck? Check for any signs of injuries. He looks okay now. I'll come back with some ointment supplies just in case. When Lizzie thought I was finally out of her line of sight and hearing distance, she turned to Anthony Pooley desperately. Don't tell anyone what I did. Please, if anyone found out what happened to you after I bit you, don't tell anybody, you promise? Yes. By the time Anthony got home, his father gave him a good beating. Mr. Redford wanted to know what happened to his son, and when he was supposed to be in a political meeting with his father and brother. Anthony wouldn't tell at first, but after an hour or so of verbal abuse, as well as physical, he let it out. It was just with Miss Blanche, he said, and she just bit me too hard and her venom turned nasty. Which of course wouldn't be the biggest mistake of his life. Would be the biggest mistake of his life. Even now I still remember it very clearly. To his father, heard them coming to Blanche's. I told him what I saw, the sheriff, the deputies, and his father leading them to Blanche Mansion. Anthony didn't look back after he raced towards Lizzie's home. But by the time he got there, it was already too late. What he saw scarred him to the depths of his soul. Lizzie's body lay sprawled out on the front lawn with a bullet wound in her chest. She was not moving. Her parents' bloodied bodies lied behind, both still and dead. Mr. Redford stood out on the front porch, but just when Anthony arrived. Father, did you? It's a good thing you told me now, before you mixed your blood with a vial. Wow! We be using some horrible shit. You change humans into vampires. What the fuck? She didn't look like she was dead at all, even with the blood pouring out of her chest from the bullet wound, just asleep. Bending down, Anthony laid himself beside her, stroking her face. Aww. Her head flopped to the side. Aww. He kissed her dead, cold lips, trying to somehow arouse her awake. She didn't respond. He could feel no breathing coming out of her mouth as he pressed. He must have, like, pushed her to be like, if you don't love me, if you don't bite me. And she's like, no, I really can. And she couldn't explain to him why, because maybe she thought she with the dad the way that he is, that he would reject her if he found out. So, I don't know. I think she should still have told him. Because then this wouldn't be. Yeah. Damn. Anthony grabbed her lifeless body up, cradling it in his arms. She felt so cold. He's crying too. Pressing her against his chest, Anthony waited for his heat to somehow transfer into her cold flesh. Her head continued to flop to her side as she ran his fingers through her now disheveled hair. Anthony took her limp hand and brought it to his face. It was so cold and unresponsive. Her body was numbing itself from the pain that would soon hit him in a few moments. Lizzie, this isn't funny anymore. Wake up. The heart pendant dangled on the neck of the lifeless corpse. His world shattered. It was the middle of the night. Okay. I stopped watching him approach. He killed his dad. His face was unexpectedly calm, his eyes downcast and cold. Anthony, whose blood is that? Why are you covered in blood? I thought you're like vampires and shit. His eyes met mine. There were absolutely no spark of life left in the pools of rotting red. Just my father's and 2 of his associates. He revealed the pistol hidden in his pocket. It was also covered in flesh blood. You killed your father? Well, yes. What else could I have done? Anthony, have you gone mad? You're a murderer. What the fuck did the dad do? So, the dad's not a murderer, but okay. This is some bullshit logic. Anthony cocked up his gun right into my face. I froze, watching him carefully. Would he kill me? Shoot me then. Shoot your only friend in the whole world. Now. Inwardly, I was shaking, but I wouldn't let him see. His eyes held no emotion as he looked at me, waiting to pull the trigger. It was clear on his face he didn't care anymore about anything. Something inside him had already died. Come on, put the gun down, Anthony. We left Georgia that night and didn't come back. Taking only Lizzie's harp and a few other stolen belongings, our lives had changed forever. Anthony was now a wanted felon for murder, and I his accomplice for helping him escape. He knew he couldn't keep our names any longer, so I came up with the brilliant plan of creating new ones. Sneaking ourselves into the docks, we went into the harbors. By then, millions of immigrants from Europe alike were coming to America. It was easy to sneak in, and we pretended we were one of them. Now, when we get to the desk, say what I told you to say. Yes, Daniel. Don't call me Daniel anymore. It's Damien. I don't know what that... Okay. I'm a young Russian man hoping to make his fortune in the New World. You're just changing your name because you fancy that girl from the general store who might not even be Russian. Mind you, I at least chose the name. Come on now, Anthony. Any name will do. Have you decided on one? It's gonna be Antoine, obviously. He was silent for a long moment. As the line began to move forward, people from behind complained, but I didn't dare drag Anthony from his place. Antoine Rouge. What a stupid name. How did you come up? No, definitely no. It's the exact same as your current initials. I don't care. Anthony, you have to move on and forget about Liz. Anthony shot a glare. Okay, that's kind of a dick move. You do not tell someone how they should, like, mourn. I almost fell backwards, remembering the same look in his eyes of a cold-blooded killer. Then do it like them French do, and put le thing before the color of a surname. Alright, Antoine? Fine, Damien. For the first time, he smiled, but it was different. Something inside him had already died. He had been so quiet for so long, I was afraid he was planning to commit suicide. So I jumped when he finally spoke. Damien, I'm going to make that cafe. That street corner cafe with red walls and a French canopy. It's going to have a bakery and a dining hall fit for Abraham Lincoln himself. And I'm going to go all over Europe, if I have to find the best chefs. I'm going to build Cafe Rouge. And what makes you think I'm gonna help you? But of course I did. And that's the story. Why are you? I mean, you're crying because Girly Pop died. I get it. Damien watches. I hopelessly tried to hide the tears dripping down my cheeks. I didn't know what to feel, happy, sad, or miserable. All I knew was that I couldn't stay here. He never forgot about her, did he? No, he never moved on, no matter how many times I told him to find some other girl and settle down. In his eyes, he believed in those impossible, that Lizzie would somehow rise up from the dead, a corpse bride. Well, what the hell? I don't know. And then, yes, my eyes started to water again. The hurt from my chest was unbearable. I was an idiot, a huge idiot. All this time, I was just some replacement for some dead woman. What the fuck? I mean, we kind of were. He never had an inkling of emotion for me. Whenever Antoine looked at me, he wasn't looking for MeliZ. He was looking for Lizzie. That's so crazy. I put my name MeliZ and then Liz. Ah! Oh, it's crazy. I have to quit, I know. He reached over, rubbing the back to comfort me. Crying out my humiliation, I finally calmed down, looking towards Damien. Damien? Yes? Thank you. By the time I got home, I had curled myself up in my room, crying in my pillow. Nobody wanted me. Not my parents, not Antoine. Maybe not even myself. Honestly, how did I become like this? My eyes dried and soon grew tired, crying myself to sleep. Huh? My phone. I unlocked my phone with facial recognition, too groggy and tired to use my fingers to properly enter my passcode. Looks like a text. Who would text me at 2 a.m. in the morning? Bitch, I would still be awake. Rubbing my swollen eyes, I glanced at it momentarily. Come to cafe or he dies. My heart stopped. It was an unknown number. I stiffened, realizing who it must be from. The murderer. The murderer! Jumping out of bed, I raced out of the house to meet my fate. I raced down the street as fast as I could. The threatening text and my smartphone weighed down my in-pocket heavily. Sorry, I have to read slowly. I can't read. All I could think about was whether or not the killer left him safe and untouched. Please, I prayed, let him be all right, please. I'm here. The door was left ajar. Reaching to the scarlet door, I trembled in terror. Hello? My voice was barely above a whisper. The cafe lobby was strangely dark and cold, and I had a bad feeling about coming in here so completely vulnerable. Panic rushed through me as I realized another mistake. What if he isn't even here? What if this is all a trick for the murderer to lead me here? Yeah, you thought about this now? Oh, no, I had to... Hello, MeliZ. A shimmer of metal flashed before my eyes, and suddenly my neck slid open. Warm liquid cascaded down my body, and in the last second of consciousness, I realized it was blood. The floor met my face as I greeted the pool of blood, and the lights went out in my mind. You have reached the common bad ending. There are 7 main endings in total, so replay to try to get all 7 endings. How? Bitch. Was this my last option? Okay, hold on. Where was this option? Like, there was no other options. We finished the story? Were we not supposed to finish the story? I feel like I'm like missing a part. We're fast forwarding the pain. The pain of all of that. That was really hard to get through. There was like nothing yet left. Wait. But what would it be? Bitch, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What the fuck? We're just gonna get death endings? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Am I literally gonna have to look up for a guide? What the fuck? I'm so lost. I'm gonna have to look up this ending. I'm lost. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up right now. Like, right now. I feel like... Is this, like... I'm just dead? What the fuck? I feel like... I don't know. I feel like we fucked up somewhere. When did we fuck up? Okay, okay. So, you're gonna join me as we figure this out, because this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Hear me out, because I don't know what I did wrong! Bitch! Hold on. Yes, we're gonna load up. We're gonna load up. ISIS? No. MeliZ. That's so... Okay. Skip. And then We're gonna kick him. I'm literally following a guide. Because I don't know what... Damn. Boom. Stay awake and try to move around. And then we're gonna text him back is the next option. Turn him down. And then take the bucket. And then it's gonna be clean up your mess. This is how we fast run a fucking route. Damn, the next choice is forever and a half? I'm trying to make this like one video because I don't think I could get through this whole game again. Not after the tomfoolery that we were just seeing. Teacher, don't talk to me. Help Aldo. And then it's gonna be ask about Damien. How did we not all do this? Ask about Damien. It wouldn't skip me if I didn't already go through all this dialogue. And we're back here. That's crazy. She fell out the window. That's so crazy. Night bar. Head to the stage. That's crazy. This is crazy. We're gonna head to the stage? Come on. Teacher, don't flirt with me. That's so... No, thank you. Head to the stage. Okay. Hear him out. Okay. Ask what happened next. And she's like shit at it. Damn. Oh shit. Oh, that's the same audio from before. That's so funny. Yeah, we've done all this. Ask what happened. So what was wrong with my run? Help Aldo. Get butter. We went through all this. Find Antoine. Oh my god, someone was murdered. We have to click all these. Okay, and then we get ask later. And then follow him later. This is some bullshit. Yeah, we literally got this. That was like the last thumbnail I had of this game. And yeah, this we confessed to. We literally... Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking throw hands. Okay? We all did all this. Yeah. Follow him later. It's kind of cool to see that I did choose the right... Oh, this is kind of cool. I did choose what? Call out for help. Dude. It's a piggy. So we're talking with this guy. So that means she never liked to show her eyes red, right? Like we learned that. So like did they pretend to put the red eyes on or some shit? I don't like any of this part. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Just continue. Okay. We gotta go to like where she's like unalived. Damn. And then she's like unalived here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So it says run to the door is the next option. How did I become like this? My eyes dried. I soon grew tired and crying myself to sleep. Did this change? My phone. I left my phone away fresh. Okay. Raced down the streets as fast as I could. The threatening text in my smartphone weighed down in my pocket heavily. All I could think about was whether or not the killer left him safe and untouched. Please, I prayed, let him be alright, please. I'm here. The door was left ajar. I trembled in terror. What the fuck? Oh my god. That's some dumb shit. I knew I did that right. The kitchen door creaked open. All was silent. Tiptoeing quietly across, a chill ran up my spine as I stepped inside. Silence prolonged. Somebody was here. I could feel their presence here in this room. They must be here somewhere, creeping along the kitchen walls, hidden behind the counters. I'm rocking back and forth. If only I could catch a glimpse of where they were in the dark, a shadow maybe, or even some slight movement of the hand. Hello, MeliZ. Arms lashed out, grabbing my hair. I screamed, ow, flailing upwards. Their hold on their hand shook off as I struggled to get away, scrambling towards the kitchen door. A shimmer of silver caught my eye. Run through the door. I reached for the kitchen door. I wouldn't do that if I were you. That voice. It's fucking Chris, man. That sus guy. I froze midway, turning my attention back towards the kitchen. Focusing my eyes back towards the source of the voice, I saw him. It couldn't be. Chris? If I were you, I'd be a good little girl and come back over here. He stepped out of the dark, and finally I could see him. But that wasn't the only thing I saw. The fuck? Antoine! Lying on the floor beside him was a man with his eyes half closed in pain. His arms were tied up behind him while he sat on the tiled floor, unmoving. My heart sank. Antoine! At the sound of my voice, his eyes opened. His pupils strained to focus on where I was, but when he did, Antoine froze. He stared in disbelief. A moment later, anguish flooded him as he cried in muffled pleas of despair. My very presence seemed to relinquish all his hope. No, no, no! No! Chris jerked his foot sharply into his chest, kicking him squarely in the stomach. Antoine doubled back in pain, buckling. Don't touch him! Oh, I don't think I will. He can barely move as it is. A pity he can still scream. I thought for sure I put enough drops in his food to cripple him completely. My face drained, assimilating what he was saying. You poisoned him? Of course. How else could I have gotten him so sick in such a short time? Every day, a drop of poison in his wine and his meals, barely noticeable even to a vampire. It was almost too easy luring him here in the middle of the night, knocking him unconscious. Amusement flickered in his eyes. It was clear that Chris was enjoying this. A shame you had to let Errol and Adeline die. Why couldn't you be a good girl and just die as I planned you to? You're giving me so much more work than necessary. Sorry, I said that completely wrong. You were the one who... Oh, yes. A pity, though. Errol just had to walk in at the wrong place at the wrong time. He must have been terribly confused watching me pour the gasoline all over the kitchen floor. Of course, I couldn't let him live after seeing that.
And for Adeline, I was expecting you instead to fall into the oven trap, slipping and falling into the pool of diesel. Of course, even that would be flammable enough to set off an explosion, so I borrowed Candace's can of hairspray, completing the catalyst to my deadly trap. And you, I had to conceal my tracks somehow. A shame you couldn't find my footsteps after I had come back. I knew I couldn't leave them blatantly in the ground. My foot dripped with diesel, and the explosion had left permanent burns on the white floor. So I bleached them out, hiding them before anyone else could notice. It was hard to take it all in, to conceive that all the people Chris was the murderer. He was so fucking red flaggy. He was so nice to me, so kind to me. It was all an act. You evil, filthy, lying rat. Chris scoffed, laughing at my stupor. And what makes me any more different from Antoine? He's as cold-blooded as a killer as any vampire. You may have heard Damien's side of the story, but you know nothing about who he is now. A traitor, a murderer, and as cold-blooded as a vampire would become. Did Antoine kill your dad or some shit, or your brother, or someone you know? Like, he killed 2 associates, so I can assume people are gonna be pissed at him. He deserves to die as much as any of us. Chris pressed his foot against Antoine's throat, choking off his airways. His eyes bulged open as he gasped for air. Stop it! Chris paused, lifting up his foot. He watched me with a wry grin across his face. If I give myself up, will you let him go? Will you stop hurting him? Why does he want you, though? Antoine would be safe, that's all that mattered. You have my word as a vampire. Out from his pocket, he pulled out a long pistol. Slowly, he raised his arms, aiming it squarely at my head. I closed my eyes, waiting for the end. No! No! Antoine lunged forward. Using his elbows and knees, he mustered the little strength he could to slam his head against Chris's legs, toppling his balance. Run! Run! Heeding his words, I ducked down behind the counters. Chris groaned in pain, and in a few short seconds, he got up again. God, so damn annoying! 2 gunshots sounded, following Antoine's scream. I covered my mouth to stifle the cry that would give me away. Come out, wherever you are! Chris stepped forward, beginning the pursuit. My eyes darted to the kitchen door. Nah, we gonna stay and hide, man. That's like the worst thing you can do in this situation is run away. Like, you have to, like, hide, bitch. A sudden sharp pain stabbed me as the thought of leaving him. No, I had to hide here. Chris would never suspect it. And Antoine, I'm still rocking. My chest ached in frantic worry. Eeny, weeny, eensy, weensy spider, go up the waters. But that's such a fucking shit song to be singing. I couldn't hide in the cabinet. But how could I make him think I left the kitchen? Down came the rain, and kicking my legs out, the kitchen door swung open. I pulled back quickly, scrambling behind the cabinet door. Wash the spider out. Chris left through the door. His footsteps faded out. Was he gone? I opened the cabinet door cautiously. Empty. Except for... I stumbled out, hastening toward Antoine. Where was he? I turned round the corner and finally saw him. My heart dropped. He was soaked in pools of blood, and his eyes were closed. Antoine? I fell to my knees, for once not even fazed by the strong stench of blood. His blood. No. Chris must have shot him, but where? In the chest? Near his lungs? Heart? Dropping down to his level, I wrapped my arms around his head. Tears poured out of his eyes uncontrollably. Oh, well, fucking, of his eyes. My eyes. I'm sorry. Ugh. He's alive. Letting him go, I looked down on his face. You're... Run. Ugh, damn it, what are you still doing here? Run. He winced, crumbling at the pain. Immediately, I let go, afraid to touch him again. But you're... Run! Nah, fuck you. I glanced over to the kitchen door. Leaving him bleeding to death on the kitchen floor while I run away? I couldn't bear the thought of it. I can't leave you like this. I buried my face into his bloody chest. Right then and there, I didn't care anymore about anything. About his real feelings about me, about Lizzie, about the cafe. Antoine was bleeding to death in front of my eyes, and for one moment I just wanted to forget, to lose myself. And for a brief moment, I could have sworn he felt the same. You stupid woman. I almost laughed. Then the door opened. Run now. No, I couldn't leave him. There would be no point now. It was too late anyway. Chris stepped round the corner and soon he found us. Well, 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 what do we have here? He stopped in front of us. I shielded Antoine in my feeble arms, determined not to let anyone hurt him. Chris seemed rather amused by that. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that the Michaels did pretty good job at saving you from the brink of death. He cocked the gun in our faces. May you finally rest in peace. It was all over. I closed my eyes, waiting for the end. He pulled the trigger. Silence. Out of ammo at a time like this? I couldn't believe our luck. Antoine yelled at me. Run now! I raced towards the back stairwell. My eyes started, we're leaving him behind? I thought we were we're not leaving him. My eyes started back, stealing a glance. Chris was fresh out of bullets and instead grabbed a kitchen knife. Without hesitation, he shoved his foot into Antoine's face with such extreme brute force I almost screamed. I'll deal with you later. Brandishing his knife, he followed right behind me. I scrambled up to the steps to Antoine's office, not daring to look back. I leaned against the office door. After I locked it from the inside, Chris wouldn't be able to get in. I panted, leaning down against the door. Girl, don't you have your phone? Then I heard Chris slamming on the office door. You can run, but you can't hide. He continued slamming the door and banging noises wouldn't go away. Then it stopped.
That's so fucking scary.
The knife pulled in and out of the door. There was nothing I could do but watch in terror. You know, you're really getting on my nerves, kiddo. That rarely ever happens. The knife serrated in and out of the hardwood, chipping the door into bits and pieces. You can stop this right now, Chris. You don't have to do this. Think of all the people you'll be hurting, all the vampires you're harming. Have mercy on your own kind. Laughter was the only reply I heard on the other side. I'm rocking again. Chris continued to stab the door, jabbing the knife in and out. You're naive. Your naivety astounds me sometimes. Honestly, I would have thought you'd learn by now. The end justifies all the means for vampires. That includes killing our own brothers and sisters. Chills run down through my spine. I couldn't conceive the amount of evil he stated in that one sentence. We are vampires. We are cruel beasts and monsters of the human race. Why did I fucking... We may look like humans. We may speak and eat like humans, but we're far from human. Tragedy follows us from cradle to coffin, and whether we like it or not, we are forced to bring doom to others as well as ourselves. Half of the wood chipped away, and I could see his face through the door. It's like The Shining. Chris pulled the knife out one last time. To afford mercy or morality of any kind means death. Those who cannot accept this destiny of sin cannot survive. So he's like crazy. They hang onto a piece of humanity that doesn't exist, which in turn will kill them. His hand reached through the door, unlocking the door. And I choose to live. My mind raced to figure out a way to escape. Chris would have come in a few seconds. I had half a second to spare. But I was trapped and the only way out of the door, and my eyes darted to the window. No worries, kiddo. It'll be quick and painless. I unlocked the pane, swinging open the window. It wasn't too high for anyone to climb down. They would surely fall. Chris kicked open the splitter door. I dove behind the office desk, hiding. Chris' line of vision went to the window first. The chase ends here, kiddo. Running is useless now. He marched to the open window, looking outside. I crawled out, emerging from behind the desk. I will not die.
Bolting myself up from the floor, I lunged forward. The force of my hands knocked him through the open air, and he fell through. Gravity did the rest, pulling his body down to earth. For a split second, our eyes met. The surprise was clear on his face as he realized I beat him at his own game. Chris' body met the pavement with a sickening crack. Damn! I covered my eyes, sparing what I could from the sight of his death. The knife sliced clean through his chest, while his eyes were glazed over in fixed shock. I won. Looking down at my hands, it suddenly hit me. I done murder. Baffled, I leaned back against the wall. Everything passed by me in a daze. I wasn't even sure if I was dreaming. Was this even reality? Maybe I was really dead. I can't read. I suddenly remembered. Jolting from my place, I raced to the kitchen. Hesitantly, I tiptoed towards him. He was lying in an upright position against the kitchen counter. Blood stained his shirt, and he looked unconscious, passed out in his own blood. His chest breathed up and down. Huh? I bent down in front of him, strands of blonde covering his face, and I almost reached out my hand to brush them away. But I pulled back. What am I doing? Why did I even come back to check on him? He wouldn't care. After all, I would never replace his Lizzie. I meant nothing to him, and I never will. Sigh. Getting up, I rose to leave. Don't. His hand suddenly lashed out, grasping mine. I glanced back towards him in quiet surprise. Antoine wore a desperate, pleading expression on his face. Please stay. His voice sounded incredibly feeble. I took a step back, and immediately he pulled me down into his arms. Antoine pressed me close to his chest, burying his face in my hair. All of a sudden, my eyes started tearing up. Why did I feel like I was on the verge of crying? Because you just said that you felt the freak or whatever. I longed for his embrace, like it was a deep pain and emptiness I couldn't explain. Like it was from ages ago, yet I couldn't remember it. It was just emptiness, completely blank. And yet this feeling, I couldn't pinpoint this pain in my chest that felt longing for this man. Too tired to resist, I let myself go, closing my eyes as his head rested against mine. We were both exhausted. He kissed my forehead and instantly I turned away. No, please, stop it. He pulled away. For a while, we just sat there in complete silence. Even the strong stench of blood didn't faze me. My body was so exhausted, both physically and emotionally. I'm sorry. I pulled away, not wanting to hear what he had to say, but he locked me in his arms and I couldn't escape. Please just hear what I have to say before you leave. This guy. For a few seconds, I refused to look at him. Then I gave in. Slowly, I turned to face him, listening to what he had to say. This is all my fault. I should never have hired you. I laughed humorously. Of course, he had nothing good to say. Antoine must have had noticed my petty sarcasm, and his voice took a more steely tone. Listen, please. I should never have hired you when you stepped in here. You weren't qualified for anything. You could have just been like, whatever. You were just some kid looking for a part-time job, and I hired you because you looked like her, like Lizzie. My chest contorted in pain, hearing his words. I was too humiliating to bear. Lowering my head, I tried to conceal the tears rolling down my face. Of course, I knew Danny was right. Lizzie would never come back, and no matter how much I hoped, I knew deep down the cafe would never bring her back. I should have moved on, but... His hand reached down towards me, cupping my face. Bro, this isn't gonna make it better. But then I saw you, and I was startled at first. And very confused. Your resemblance to her was just so uncanny. It was like she came back from the dead, and yet you were different. As his fingers would around my face, one blah blah blah. As his fingers would. What? As his fingers would around my face once more. What the fuck does that mean? So I'm not reading this wrong. What the fuck? As his finger... He stroked me so tenderly, I swear I could have died. You're not gonna die from that. You were not her. No matter how Lizzie was and who you were, you're not her. At least... Tears continued to well up in my eyes as Antoine's words trailed off. As he continued to hold me, something inside me suddenly clicked in place. In my mind, something suddenly came back to me. The face of a young man, a boy calling for me, appeared in my head. A boy with blonde hair like platinum gold. Yes, this was the memory and the man before me. I stared at him in a long silence. Antoine had the same features as the boy in my mind. That young boy that I played with in the cotton. Oh, Anthony. Antoine's face suddenly changed with emotions, realizing the same moment as I did what I meant. He looked at me endearingly, and his lips quivered as he continued to look at me. It is you. You see, this is what I was saying. Like, it's stretching it with the whole reincarnation thing, but I'm like, okay, fine. His fingers reached up to my eyes, brushing my tears away. My darling girl, my Lizzie. Anthony. This is so weird. Antoine's lips descended on mine, and I yield. Again, whatever, it's reincarnation. Okay. Deep inside me, something wanted to cry out in joy, that not even heaven or earth could have torn us apart, not even ourselves. The happiness was overwhelming. Breaking off our tender... I guess this is technically the true route then. Because she was actually like reincarnated. Okay. Anthony and I parted, both breathless. No, I wasn't MeliZ. My name was Elizabeth Blanche. The reason why I couldn't remember my memories of my childhood with Valen was because I wasn't MeliZ Black. I never grew up with Valen. It was all a lie. I could never remember my memories with Valen because they never happened. And with Anthony's father murdered me and my family that fateful night, something must have saved me and prevented me from dying. And that someone made me switch places with the real MeliZ Black, the real girl who grew up with Valen. But then what happened to the real MeliZ Black? If I am Lizzie Blanche, what happened to the girl who I was living her life right now? Who was the girl who had the childhood memories of Valen Michaels? That was still a mystery. Still, I was too overcome with emotion as I realized my true identity. Thank you. For what? For never forgetting me, and for building our dreams, Café Rouge. Everything that we wanted, and now we're finally together again. Antoine chuckled. Vampires may only live 1,000 years, but I will never stop loving you. Our love is truly immortal. After that night, Antoine and I were inseparable. We knew that this small victory would only be one of many challenges to be overcome. The Red Bloods wouldn't give up their pursuit, and even though my strange condition still remained a mystery, as well as my missing memories, we should surely find out why and what it was that happened to me during all those years. We would also surely find out why and how to cure me someday. So then we're just the same girl. We're the same person. We're the same age as Antoine. Okay, I guess that makes it a little bit better. If we're like the same exact person, we're not reincarnation. We're just the same person. That makes me feel better. Okay, I feel better about this now. I thought it was some weird shit. We're like his age. Okay. Okay. With Damien's help, the police closed the case, convicting Chris as the murderer. Errol and Adeline found the justice they deserved, and the cafe returned back to normal. Well, bartenderless, that is. Tonight was the night my parents said that woman would be coming. We were uneasy at first, and Antoine and I, but maybe this person had all the answers to the mystery of my illness and my connection to the past life as Elizabeth Blanche. Are you sure you don't want to break? That's so weird.
Although it usually takes many hours on end sometimes, and I'm pretty lenient if Damien isn't. Nah, I think I'm fine. I cleared the tables, wiping the dirty white tops with a soapy cloth. MeliZ? I turned back to look at him. If you would rather prefer it, you can call me Anthony instead. He looked the other way, abashed. At first I couldn't grasp what he was saying. It had never occurred to me how much he had changed from the young man he once was, and maybe still is. Yet it felt oddly inappropriate to call him a name that would never designate the jaded soul that he'd now become. I don't want to hang on to the past. This new life, I'm no longer Lizzie Blanche. My name is MeliZ Black now. And I fell in love with Antoine, not Anthony. Antoine looked up to meet my eyes, quiet in his own surprise. He appeared rather astonished, not ever once conceiving the idea of those words coming out of my mouth. And then that same smug smirk spread across his face, or his lips. Get back to work, Miss Black. Who am I? That never fucking mind. What the fuck? So we are Okay. Or a quaint cafe and bakery. When night takes over, it transforms me into a 5-star restaurant. Okay. What the fuck? Well, I'm gonna look this up because I don't think I'm gonna be playing the other routes. I just want to know. Okay. We're gonna figure out what's going on with all her shit. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Oh, I'm looking at the reviews on Steam. It's not looking great. Yeah, the plantation thing, that was not something that was even... That's like... It made me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't like it. I don't know the story. I'm not gonna play the rest of the games. Like, I'm gonna be pretty honest. I don't remember the game ever being like that at all. I think that back then, the only thing that even, like, talked about plantation, anything, was that they were going to a field trip there. And that was it. Like, none of this, like, liberal, like, saying, like, oh, you consume too much. That was never in the original game. And, like, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of... It rubbed me in the wrong way. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And then, like... The thing is, I could even say, oh, the Damien guy learned that all that shit back then was bad and he has changed for the better. But I doubt that because of the fact he still had that, oh, well, you're consuming liberal. Like, that, him just saying it like that with so much, like, I wouldn't even say hatred, so much like, ugh, like, it already makes me seem like he doesn't believe those things that happened back then were bad. Like, the way that he came across is not of a person who grew from that. It is a person that still believes in those same thoughts, you know? And I don't remember that being like it in the DeviantArt one. Like, you can go back into my 2014 one, and I don't think, you know, any talk of plantation was there. They made it sound like the way that it was written, I thought it was Victorian times, or like, I don't know. There was just...
again, I think a lot of us were playing this game because it's like, oh my god, Cafe Rouge, DeviantArt. I remember this game. Like the nostalgia got us to play it again. But I don't know, unless my middle school, I don't know, I don't know. Because I played the game before it was I had my YouTube channel, you know? I played it as like a when I was younger, and then when I was in once I had my YouTube channel, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to play it again and I'm going to go for the friend." So like I don't recall it ever being like that. That's so weird. That's like I don't know, man. That is just so I can't recommend this game. I will say the art was very nice, but I don't think with good conscience I can recommend this game because I don't know, it feels like it's pushing some sort of narrative on the, because you're supposed to like not like Damien, I don't know, man. And in the fact, like, our girly pop, she stood on business and she's like, yeah, you fucking racist assholes, and he's like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know, that felt so fucking, I don't know, it felt wrong. I could hardly read through it. I just wanted to finish this off so I can be like, I finished the game and kind of like finish it because I promised myself I would finish it. But I'm just saying, I can't recommend this game. I feel like this is the first time I've played a game and I'm just like, I can't recommend it. I got this game for free from the developer to try it out because, again, I was really excited. I played the demo and I was really excited because I was like, oh my god, Cafe Rouge, DeviantArt, fucking nostalgia. And then I don't even think I played up, no, like this part I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I got it for free. I'm thankful that I got it for free. I'm always thankful when companies come out and they give me things for free for like to try out their games, whether it's just a demo, whether it's, you know, just a coupon code so I can buy it cheaper, or maybe it's like to give out free copies to the fans. Totally great. I'm totally happy when they do that. I am just saying that this is the first game that I can find myself that I just can't recommend. I think there was a lot of problematic themes here. This Otome game could have taken place in modern France, or like, I don't know. It could have been like they were from it didn't have to center around plantations and the fact that you have characters that are like obviously making it seem like, oh, like, what do you mean everyone's like, it could have been. Here's some advice to the developer, because one, again, this was really in bad taste, but what you could have done if you really wanted to push like Cafe Rouge and that they were like vampires from Europe, and it could have been where, I'm trying to see, you could have done it where, I'm trying to think how this could have been done. They didn't have to be there during like plantation times and be okay with it. It could have been that you wrote it as they were all in Europe, right? Because, you know, vampires are from Transylvania, like there. Or is that the werewolves? No, that's where Dracula's from, right? So if you were just trying to say like, oh, it could even be like German, like, I don't know, it felt kind of wrong when the Antoine was like, oh, are they German? I was like, okay, man, this is, you shouldn't be judging. Anyways, so I think you could have been like, they were like from Europe, been very vague about what part of Europe they were from if you needed to, if you wanted to, and that they came over when the height of American Revolution was having, like when they finally set the slaves free, and it was like, okay, fine, like they came over because they're like, finally there's some decency in America and the slaves are free, and that's how they started, You know, they already came with money. Like, they didn't need to have a plantation. They didn't need to have slaves. They could have come after, like, the slaves were free, you know? It could have even been when, there could have been so many other times that you could have had them come over as immigrants to America, and it would have been a much better. They could have still been wealthy. It could have even been during the Bridgerton times, like they're like Bridgerton like vibes, you know, because you know, could have done that. Could have been even like, oh, we came over during the, I don't know. I just, it could have been any other time. I don't know. It didn't have to be like the worst time ever. It could have even been like they came over in modern times even. Like, it could have been something like that. I think it was really wrong. Like, I think there was a vibe there that wanted to be explored of just like having a romance like that, of like these rich vampires. I think if you're trying to give out the vibe that they're rich, you could have just given them the look of it. Like, if you have a vampire looking like they're rich, you can just assume that they're rich. You didn't have to give them a full ass plantation. I don't know. I feel like this could have been handled completely differently. This is just not it. I don't know. I'm just saying. I can't recommend this game. Those were my tips, my, you know, advice for the developer. You could have done it differently. I kind of feel good that I didn't spend any money on this game. There was like tons of DLC before I played this part of the game, like today's part of the game. There's tons of DLC that I would have bought maybe to continue this, but seeing the plantation part, seeing like all, it just made me not want to. It made me just not. Yeah, it's just one of those games that I can't endorse. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my opinion on this. I don't know. You know, I didn't think too much about it when there was no PLC characters, but now I think there was, like, whether consciously or subconsciously, now I'm just like, damn. And this is like me coming out, like, this is me as a POC person. Obviously my model doesn't look like it or anything, but no, yeah. Nope. I am far from that. I am a Mexican American, so I understand, and I've gone through a lot of like discrimination based on skin color. So seeing something like this is just not, I'm not vibing with it. I do, again, thank you so much for everyone watching, and I hope to see you in my next video, my next live stream. Yeah, I'm glad that I finished this in one video, because this was something that I was not, no. Yeah. Well, have a good one, everyone. Just don't do this. This is not, it's not good. Yeah. Bye. Have a good one.